Goodness. Whoops. Okay. Hello, Brian Yu.
Hello, Young.
So this is Team I Make the Big Plays versus 5 Fruit 3GS Wi-Fi.
Let's just call him Five Fruit for short,
Yeah,
because
5 Fruit.
their team name is retardedly long.
Seed 3 versus Seed 6. Currently their team is in a custom game. Doing something.
Hmm.
I'm gonna,
Can you give me an invite to the thing?
Alright, I'll invite you. There we
Thank you.
go. It says you declined.
Oh, I'm technically in a game, so
Oh, what?
yeah, I just left because I have like 700 ping.
Alright.
It's in ARMs, so I'm gonna have to wait for them to finish.
Chang, all in if you give me. Okay. So people are leaving the game. I don't know why. But it's okay. The game only really has to start at 1:15.
So they still have 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, Young, I think you can invite me now. Should work.
Alright.
So,
Sure.
yep.
Invite Dark Soul, gives them 56 again. Utopia, okay, invite. Utopia.
Oh look, they have the uniform summoner icons again. Purple team has first pick, right?
5 fruits can choose because they are the higher seed.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. I'm just asking.
Yeah, I'm saying if 5 fruits would
Yeah, I know
like
that.
blue side, then they can
Yeah, I
choose
know.
blue side. So, just waiting on the players. Vicky Chang, Night Ninja, and I will remind Vicky Chang, by the way. White Bear. Setting up the game for the tournament. Yes. Alright. UG Rocks rooting for Utopia's team. That's good. Can you give me invite? And Paltina. Want to spectate? Oh. Registered as Killer Caber 5, yeah. So, only Killer Caber 5. Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm back.
Alright, looks
So,
like both teams just waiting on their players to start the game.
still have 15 minutes to go.
Yeah. There's no rush. So, Team I Make the Big Plays already rocking the same summoner icon. It did work out for Sometimes I'm Happy yesterday, so
Well, Homie Knights were just trolling the
maybe
whole
they're
game,
on
pretty much.
some
The roaming Alistair and the
roaming
support
Alistair.
Zillion.
Yeah. We'll see if we see something interesting like that again. Hopefully.
Hopefully, says Ricky. It was actually him who told Homie Knights to go ahead with the support Zillion.
You guys don't sync icons?
Night Ninja doesn't have
Calling
faith
them
in his own
out.
team.
Hmm?
Night Ninja doesn't have faith in his own team.
Yeah, I know, man. They're bad because they don't sync
Sats-
icons, apparently.
Satsuna brings up a good point that it's all about the skins, not about the icons.
So they'll definitely be looking to pick champions that they own skins for, instead of champions that might be
Uh,
good with each other.
uh,
Because definitely the skin advantage is what's gonna win in the
More
game.
important than any synergy. Looks like we're just waiting on Nightbear and
We're waiting for a Killer Care Bear and Wish.
oh.
So we just look at the elos here, and we see all golds and a platinum for Team 5 Fruits, but 2 silvers and a platinum for Team I Make the Big Plays. But then again, elo doesn't mean a lot.
Who needs Elo when you can make the big plays?
Yeah.
And as we saw from yesterday's game between Husheng Clan and we have Wild Turtle, even bronze players can make big plays.
Yeah, Team Hushan Clan actually won the second game.
Even though they had a questionable, if not terrible, team composition with that tank Nidalee in there.
The tank Nidalee actually did pretty well later in the game though, so it's not all about the team composition, but also how you play all the champions.
Bloodrune says they didn't even need Wild Turtle.
Yeah.
The man with 4 accounts in Challenger.
Their last player is Dyrus, he says. I get Wild Turtle. They actually invited Dyrus. So still waiting on Killer Rare 5, and then the game will start.
And Ruish.
Oh right, he hasn't joined the game yet either.
Still have about 12 minutes left.
Big D Chang informing us that he might still be sleeping.
Might.
Might. Team 533GS Wi-Fi does have subs, but I don't believe any of them are available.
I had to take down my Instagram photo.
Yeah, Blood Runes does bring up a good point. These games were scheduled more than a
At
week
1
ago.
o'clock.
More than a
Ruish has joined the game.
scheduled more than a week ago. If you're not in time for the scheduled time, then that's honestly just your bad.
Killer Care Bear 5 still no in sight.
So at this point, if Killer Care Bear is not in the lobby by 1:15, the win does go to Team I Make the Big Plays for game 1.
We have to put USA.
Man, I really hope this would not happen again, but looks like it might have to come to it.
Still has 9 minutes.
Yeah, still has 9 minutes. And then that's only the first game, so if Killer Care Bear comes before the second game starts, which is going to be 20 minutes after 1:15, then they'll still be able to play. Just waiting on Killer Care Bear. Oh god. The pulse fire icon from Ruish just ruining the synergy of Team I Make the Big Plays.
He's
really thought,
obviously not going to make the big plays.
yeah, I really thought they had something going here, but apparently not.
So 8 minutes remain for Killer Care Bear 5 to show up.
Yeah. 8 minutes remain. It's 1 o'clock.
107.
1:07. And Killer Care Bear could still be sleeping. Said Big D Chang. Ruish has left the game.
Oh dear.
I'm not sure what's going on. He wants to change his icon.
So it looks like he is
That's
conforming.
very understandable. They needed to establish that team synergy before the game even started. Yeah, honestly, these matches were scheduled more than probably a week ago, so please try to be on time and not have difficulties like this.
This
Make
just
sure
very
you
sloppy.
have the time allocated to play out the entire series, and check your internet problems before the game so time isn't spent paused during the match.
Keep in mind that that the lobby's actually made 15 minutes before the scheduled time. Dark Souls saying we might have to remake the game.
Accidentally kicked Ruish. Okay. Well. Okay, remake. That's pretty ridiculous. Wow. Much sadness, Albert. Much sadness. Who else is going to play? I'm not sure.
Bloodrunes is asking if Michael Trin was banned from League of Legends tournaments.
No. That was last year. I have no grudge against. Why would he be DQ'd from all League of Legends tournaments? This
That does seem a bit
is,
extreme.
yeah, that's a little bit extreme.
And it wasn't just him, there were
Well,
others involved.
I have no affiliation with what happened last year, so I say Michael can play. Isn't this the last resort there? So waiting.
And Young was not the game maker last year, so he did not host the tournament last year.
Three minutes currently for
Let's remain.
Team 5 Fruits to find their fifth player.
They actually still have no contact with Killer Care Bear.
Oh, right. Invite Drowning Panda. Yes. So it's getting close to 1:15, and again, they still don't have their player. This is very sad. Much sadness. Very much sadness.
Very sad indeed.
You even have a bike, dude? What? Really? Okay. It's almost 1:15. Man, I really wish it wasn't going to come to this. Killer Caber 5, the invite is pending.
I think he's on,
I
says
think
Night
he's
Ninja.
on.
He thinks.
Yes.
He
This
just
is
got off
very
Skype.
good. We're
So
going to be able
just
to
in the
play
nick
the
of
normal
time.
series.
Killer Care 5 showing up 1 minute to spare in style.
Yes. If he's actually here, I will not DQ them or have them lose the game on the second. Yeah. That's just ridiculous.
Let's just give him a chance.
Yeah. Of course. He's online. He's just.
Logging on looks like to League.
Yeah.
Big D Chang, all caps. Yes, he's online. LOL.
Tell him to join.
Looks like the invite did go to Killer K by 5, so he is on.
The invite did go to Killer Barrier 5, but he is still not joining the game. He's signing in, he says. Yeah, so I am making an exception because this is such a close game, and none of us really want to go to the forfeit because that's just kind of unreasonable if this guy is already here. What? Re-invite. Alright, so
Looks like the game will start.
start the game. Alright, so actually
So Killer,
the higher seed does not pick blue side, even though
very
they could have.
interesting.
I'm not sure if they knew that, but first pick is going to go to Team I Make the Big Plays. A Zed ban, very standard. Zed is a very strong champion who can make a lot of big plays.
Very mobile and strong assassin with a lot of burst potential.
Yeah,
And AoE damage on top of it. Wukong being banned away.
that could possibly have been a target ban against a player on the other team.
Wukong is very strong in the team composition because of his ultimate and the fact that he gets very tanky late game.
Blitzcrank ban, pretty standard. It's just Blitzcrank just has all the tools to catch someone out and possibly really change the tide of the game.
Definitely really annoying to play against in lane. Dangerous as well.
Yep. You can just really force mistakes and objectives with Blitzcrank. We'll see what the next brutes, and it's Kassadin.
Standard ban, still standard.
Yeah, Kassadin is just a huge nuisance if he can get past the laning phase. With his high mobility and high damage, with the silence.
Syndra being taken away from Big D Chang.
Yeah, I know David or Big D Chang is a Syndra player, so
And
that
Syndra
is
is
a target ban against their mid
and
laner.
Vayne, I know B Rising 296 loves to play Vayne, so that is definitely a target ban.
Yep. We'll see what the first pick is for blue team. Mundo. Mundo really seems to be a popular pick this tournament. He's an extremely strong champion, gets extremely tanky, and still is able to dish out the damage output.
Brysinger, my bad. Brysinger. And Oriana being taken by Big D Chang. And Mundo is just so strong right now because he offers so much. He's incredibly difficult to kill, and late game he just has so much damage.
So purple team picking up the AoE ultimates with Sona and Oriana. If they combo those correctly, it could be really devastating for blue team.
So purple team might be going the standard wombo combo team composition, looking for those team fights. No Vi being looked at.
Vi is going to be locked in. Vi is an extremely strong jungler in the current meta. He just does so much damage if you choose to go the damage build. And especially with Oriana, it'll be really easy to catch out members of blue team and possibly snowball the game.
And Vi is especially strong against any AD carry because you can just use that ultimate, just lock them up. There's really not much the AD carry can do against that.
Yeah, Vi just crazy catcher potential, and the ultimate late game is if the ball chooses to go on Vi, it could also set up the huge ultimate for Oriana.
So, blue team is now looking at Sona, Gragas. I wonder which team's gonna pick Shyvana, because Mundo Shyvana is pretty terrifying to play against late game. They're just hovering over that Gragas and that Sona. I'm surprised no one's really
Okay,
picking Ari, considering
so
she's one of the more popular assassin mids in the meta right now. Gragas and the Sona do get locked in.
alright, so it's Gragas and Sona for blue team, more AoE ults, but that combo isn't really as powerful because Gragas ult knocks everyone away.
And Gragas is a strange pick because Mundo, he has AoE and he does better when everyone is clumped up or standing together. And the Gragas, because he just knocks everyone away, Mundo is going to have to just go that much further to chase people down and really kill them.
Yeah, but Gragas still a very strong pick on his own. He's just extremely mobile, has the wave clear, has the AoE damage, and the sustain in lane.
The purple team looking at the Nasus and the Janna. No, the Renekton. So it looks like. Hmm. I wonder if it's going to be a jungle Mundo or a top lane Mundo.
So Lucian, one of the strongest ADs in the current meta coming out. Lucian just does so much damage with all of his abilities, especially when he picks up the Triforce.
With that double shot, he will be doing so much damage. And it looks like it is a jungle Mundo. Shen
With
at
the
the top
lane
lane.
Shen. And for purple team, the picks are Janna and Renekton. So Renekton are very strong top laner, especially comboed with that Vi. The 2v2 potential of Renekton and Vi is just huge.
And for the bottom lane, the blue team, Sona Lucian is a very strong combination because Sona can just, and that's a troll pick, Sona can just lock everyone down with a crescendo while Lucian does use that drive-by ultimate to just shoot everyone down.
Yeah, the picks for blue team are extremely tanky with the Shen and the Mundo, and we'll see what they do with that.
Killer Carrier 5 looking at that Caitlyn. Safe pick.
Yeah, a very safe pick. There's not really a lot that can get to Caitlyn at all on blue team. If you notice, Mundo does not have a gap closer. Gragas cannot put himself into that close range of Caitlyn's auto attacks. Sona doesn't really have a way. Shen could possibly get a flash taunt on Caitlyn, but that's going to be very hard, and Lucian is just going to have to be in the back. And the Renekton and Vi are going to be very tanky for purple team.
Especially with that Janna that can just babysit Caitlyn all day. There's no way that blue team can get to that Caitlyn if Killer Carrier 5 plays the matchup correctly.
Yeah, and the Oriana and Janna shields are going to help out with the tanking as well.
And both the top lanes actually took teleport, so I don't think we'll see any early kills or aggression coming out of that top lane.
Without the ignite on Renekton, the kill potential just really isn't there. It's going to be probably just going to be a farm lane. But Renekton does have an extremely strong laning phase and could look to punish Shen.
Alright, and we're waiting for the game to get started because there is that 3-minute delay, so people cannot stream cheat.
I think both team compositions look very strong this game as compared to some of the other games of the tournament
Homie
where
Knights.
G-comps were all over the place. But I think both teams have chosen very strong champions that certainly do work well together.
Bloodrune saying Zillion is the best right now, obviously.
Yeah, I'll be really watching to see what happens with the Shen roam and the Renekton in lane because Renekton does have the ability to stop Shen's teleport, and if Renekton can get some early kills, he'll really be able to snowball the game.
Especially the jungle will be an important matchup because if Mundo gets shut down early in the jungle, it'll be very difficult for him to come back. And Vi is very aggressive early on.
Yeah. But then again, Mundo, after it gets later in the game, he will eventually get those tanky items and he will eventually still become that tanky threat.
And speaking of tanky threats, I'm a little worried for Purple Team in that they don't have that much damage to deal with Mundo or Shen. Caitlyn doesn't have a percentage health shred like
Yeah,
Vayne does, or
Caitlyn isn't the highest damage AD carry, although she is extremely safe. And I don't see blue team easily getting to Caitlyn in a team fight.
but Lucian doesn't have that much sustained damage himself, and Renekton and Vi do get fairly tanky, so
Yeah.
the fights will probably be very long in the later stage of the game.
I think it'll really come down to who can get the good ultimates with the Orianna Shockwave or the Sona ult on top of a couple players and the Gragas ult.
So both teams just gonna mash faces with each other, sprawl it out over and over again, looks like. And just 25 more seconds until we get into the game.
And I'll be looking to see if either team tries any level 1 strategies, because so far in this tournament no level 1s have really been anything happening.
Both teams don't really have that strong of a level 1. Shen's taunt is the only thing blue team has, and purple team doesn't really have all that much.
Yeah, they do have the Renekton stun, but
it's a bit difficult to pull off because it's melee range and you have to flash on top of someone.
Yeah. So I'm going to BRB while the game loads. Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back, Young, and we are just getting loaded up onto the Rift.
Yeah. Both top laners taking teleport. So Shen is going to be really looking to have that global presence.
I don't quite agree with the Renekton taking that teleport because Shen technically has two teleports with his ultimate and his summoner spell.
Yeah.
And so Renekton, by taking teleport, he's putting himself at a disadvantage where he could have sought a bigger kill potential with an ignite.
Yeah, so with the teleport he's looking to try to follow Shen around instead of taking the ignite and trying to punish Shen in lane.
Indeed, and just waiting for those last few percentages to finish up.
Yeah, so in case you just opened the stream and just tuned in, this is Team I Make the Big Plays, the 6th seed of the tournament, versus Team 5 Fruits 3GS Wi-Fi, the 3rd seed of the tournament. 5 Fruits 3GS Wi-Fi being purple team, and I Make the Big Plays being blue team. This is game 1 of the tournament. It is currently 0-0. So
we are loaded up?
Yep.
So it looks like very standard item starts. Renekton actually going with a Doran's Blade, just looking to trade with Shen that top lane.
That's really going to give him an advantage in the early trades, but when he tries to sustain, it's not going to be as effective.
And Shen does go for that Doran's Shield, which is very standard on Shen because he is a very tanky sustained champion.
And it's going to help out against the auto attacks of Renekton as well.
So it looks like pretty defensive starts for both teams here. Both teams just guarding the entrance to their jungle. And Mundo actually going to start at his blue buff, not his red buff, so might be looking for an early gank on bottom lane.
Yeah, so this is quite out of the ordinary because typically if you start the blue buff on blue side, you're going to go from your blue buff to your red buff and then gank bottom lane. However, bottom lane typically is very well warded, and especially as a jungler like Mundo, without a gap closer, it's going to be extremely hard to pull off the gank. Neither Lucian nor Sona has any form of CC either, except for a slow from Sona, so that's going to be a very difficult gank for Mundo. So after Vi has completed her red buff, her blue buff, and her red buff, it'll be a gank opportunity top lane with Renekton and the Vi.
And there is a lot of CC in that top lane between Vi and Renekton.
Yeah, so Shen's definitely going to need to be careful around level 3.
Shen will have to ward carefully and he will have to take a shadow dash early to be careful.
Yeah, he definitely needs to take his shadow dash at level 2 if he's going to want to survive the gank without having to blow summoners.
And so jungler is not looking for anything crazy, both taking wolves, not rushing for the red buffs.
So in this Season 4 jungle, what you do is you take the blue buff, then you take a small camp, either wolves or wraiths, and then your smite will be up for the red buff. You smite both large buffs.
And Big D Chang and Dark Soul going at each other, and Big D Chang actually hit level 2 first, so he did have that
Putting down
trade advantage.
But Gragas does have the sustain with his passive, giving him extra health regen every time he casts a spell.
And Big D Chang running into Mundo in the jungle. Does throw a ward down.
So Mundo continues to farm, and he spots at the ward with his trinket.
And so it looks like Palutena wants to make something happen mid, but Gragas did just go back in the lane, is shoving, so it will be a difficult gank to pull off.
The top lane is shoving as well, so the Vi will have a hard time ganking the Shen.
So Kaylin is actually winning the CS advantage just a tiny bit. That's to be expected because Kaylin nearly always wins the early game.
Yeah, he just is extremely safe with that 650 range.
But Lucian does have quite a bit of range and poke himself, so that's not to be forgotten.
Yeah, Lucian does have the damage to win those all-in trades if he so chooses. But both ADs decide to farm and play passively.
And keep in mind that Lucian, after he uses an ability, his next basic attack actually does 2 auto attacks, not just 1.
Yeah, so Lucian's trade potential is very high.
But again, with those Janna shields and Sona heals, there's not much each AD carry can do to each other.
Yeah. They're both choosing to just play passively and last.
And Mundo actually not opting to gank this top lane.
Both
but
junglers
again,
just deciding to just farm.
These two top laners are both very tanky. Shen does have that shadow dash now. Actually trading with Renekton.
So there could be an engagement mid. Both junglers are here. And
so Palutena makes a first move and
the
Mundo
Q
shows up.
does not hit, and Big D Chang could be in
take
trouble
a lot of
here.
damage.
Flashes come out, and
First
this
blood
could
does
be
go
a double kill for Vi.
Red buff is ticking. Does she have? No,
Vi
she does
not have flash available, and
very
that's
good play
just
blue team.
both Gragas and Mundo get away.
That was a bit sloppy by Big D Chang walking way too close to Gragas, because Gragas does have that body slam, which does do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, very good counter gank by Dr. Mundo. The first Q from Vi not connecting, and Big D Chang was also out of mana after his initial combo. Top lane CS, Renekton actually doubling the amount of Shen.
That's to be expected. Shen is a bit weaker than the other bruisers and tanks.
Yeah.
Until he gets a Sunfire cape, then he can start really trading against his opponents.
Some trades going on bottom lane. Sona was not there for that, so Caitlyn easily committed to that.
But Sona does have that heal, and Lucian is running those lifesteal coins, so he will be just fine.
Yep. And despite the kill on Orianna mid lane, Orianna still does lead the CS. Caitlyn leading CS bottom, but it's still relatively even. Mundo
Looks like
looking
Mundo
to
will
gank
make a move top lane, and Renekton
but
not
he is spotted
yet,
by a ward.
but he does have that slice and dice to get out. So it has slowed down a bit. Both junglers just taking a small camp, so it looks like something will go on. Nope, nothing will go on that mid lane.
Once Vi hits 6, he should really be looking to Prussian lanes with that ultimate.
And Big D Chang getting chunked by that barrel there.
He does have many potions available for him to sustain though.
And Gragas did get that chalice, which gives him MR, some mana regen, which is very nice, but Big D Chang only just got the boots and the chalice, which is not very good for him. So Gragas will come out ahead on these trades.
Especially since he'll be able to sustain back any of the poke that he receives from the Orianna.
Yeah, especially with that passive. Gragas gains a bit of his health every time he uses an ability, which is very nice. And Shen actually is getting chunked very hard in this lane.
However, Renekton does have the teleport and not the ignite. If he had the ignite, he could have been looking to pressure Shen very hard right now with the kill potential.
And so both junglers just giving their blue buffs away to their mid laners. Big D Chang not getting his quite yet. Mundo looks like he will return to the top lane, and there is no ward. Let's see if he can make anything happen.
Renekton does have his ultimate available, so I believe
And
he
Mundo
should be fine here. He could even possibly pick up a kill on the Shen.
Shen going down, and there is no ignite to stop the Renekton. Can Renekton get the kill? Mundo's healing up, and the
Very good ultimate by Shen. Renekton did not to commit to either Mundo or Shen, choosing to get them both down to 200 health, but not committing on either of them.
But this is the problem, and
there is a gank
Palutena
bottom
actually
lane,
goes down on the bottom lane. So purple team,
and a double kill for Lucian.
This is not going very well for purple team. Blue team playing these matches very well.
A failed gank for Vi in the bottom lane, and a successful gank for Mundo in the top lane is going to put blue team, Team I make the big plays, with a 1.5k gold lead.
That's only at 9 minutes. Or 8 minutes and 30 seconds. And Big D Chang actually did not get his blue buff. Palutena took that blue buff, and Lucian actually got it when he killed Palutena.
Yeah.
That is not very good. Lucian, the way he's balanced is that his skills cost a lot of mana, and with this blue buff, he's just going to be able to spam his spells and just poke Caitlyn down despite her auto attack advantage.
Renekton going to freeze the top lane. He knows that Shen's ultimate is not available, and he's going to be able to freeze the lane, look for a gank, because Shen is going to be forced at this position in the lane. He sees
But the problem is Shen is much too tanky now. He got that giant stone. He's just basically unkillable right now by Vi and Renekton.
Yeah, Renekton is looking to build damage with
That
the
last
Hydra.
whisper.
Or the... Yeah, last whisper.
Most like... Which is very questionable because Renekton is not really a champion you want to build damage on. Besides maybe a Black Cleaver.
Bottom lane now, Lucian looking to play extremely aggressive because he knows he has the blue buff and the item it own. Actually, he has chosen to buy 2 Doran's Blades and a Vamp Scepter instead of the blood from the BF sword on Caitlyn. So he's going to be behind in picking up those big damage items.
But he
Bragg
does
is
have
looking for a gank, but
Bragg
missing the body slam.
failing
And
the body slam. does not even have his ultimate yet.
There's actually 4 bottom. And they might be looking for a
will
dragon here.
respond. Paltina just used a Vault Breaker to make some distance between him and Mundo. Forwards coming out. Both sides just had a standoff. Trinket being used to clear out that ward. And both mid laners not losing too much, but
yeah,
looks
4
like
bottom, but nothing comes out of that. And Big D Cheng could be in trouble, but he just wards and backs off. The top lane CS though, Renekton is still more than doubling that of Shen at this point.
So Utopia actually still coming out on those trades, because Shen isn't all that tanky maybe?
Yeah, despite the kill that went to Shen after the Mundo gank, he is still losing CS. Vi looking to gank mid.
But this will be very tricky because Gragas does have his flash up. Big Cheng does not, and Mundo actually coming for a counter gank. Paltina is backing
going
away.
down. The pings do see the Vi.
Paltina does cross a ward, so blue team still backs off. Lucian taking quite a bit of damage there.
And Mundo is going around, but Renekton will see that. And they do see Mundo top, so they take that opportunity to go for the dragon.
Good play by purple team, returning some gold into their favor. And Renekton will have to be very careful because he is very squishy. Did not go for any items.
Mundo
and
is coming down, the TP comes in, and the smite misses, but the Janna auto attack does take the dragon.
That teleport was very questionable.
With the TP though, Shen is going to get some free time top lane to close out that CS lead and possibly put some damage on the turret.
That teleport was very premature. Blue team did not engage them, and Shen still had not teleported or used that stand-in at itself.
Yeah. Preemptive teleport, but
so
however it did secure the dragon.
So Kaelin is still holding that CS lead despite being 2 kills down.
Yeah.
Renekton is stomping in that CS, almost doubling Shen's CS.
If we look at mid lane, there's an engage going on because both Mundo and Vi are available.
Looks like Paltina will just get out of there.
A very good Vault Breaker, getting him out of that.
Gragas in general just has a bigger burst than Orianna, so that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah. But with the Vi ult and the Orianna ult, they could look to put some pressure on any lane. Blue buff going to Gragas from the Mundo.
So Paltina not having too many successful ganks, whereas Mundo made 2 successful ganks already.
There is a gank on Renekton top lane, but he's able to just slice and dice out of there.
And Renekton is 900 CS, 900 gold up on Shen. That's something to pay attention to, but Setsuna does have that level advantage.
And now Vi is looking for the gank mid lane. This could be extremely successful.
Dark Soul not in position.
The ultimate comes out, and that's going to be a kill picked up by Big D Cheng.
Very good gank there. Paltina waiting for that flash to use his Sultan battery.
And the Orianna really baited that extremely well there by going in on the Gragas, making Gragas believe he could do something, but and Renekton solo kills the Shen.
Because Renekton did go for that damage, and Shen is not too strong right now.
So this really could be a problem for blue team. With this Renekton becoming extremely huge, he has a huge CS advantage, and if he looks to roam, he'll be one of the strongest characters on the map right now.
And Shen still has not completed that Sunfire cape, and Renekton is in a bit of trouble here because Mundo is chasing him down. It's like Renekton will not
the
go
Mist
down.
Cleaver.
Yes.
The Shen ult coming, a little bit of miscommunication, and I believe Renekton is going to be able to get out of there.
So very sloppy play by blue team, and blue team does pick up a kill on that Janna.
So the Lucian just really getting stronger and stronger with that mid-game power that Lucian does have.
But purple team is still up 500 gold with those CS advantages, so that's something going in favor of purple team.
Yeah.
And dragon.
Despite that kill deficit, they are up in gold because of the CS.
So Renekton did go for that Ravenous Hydra, and he will be a very big split pusher.
Going to have a lot of damage available, and look to punish Shen even more.
And right now, there is no one on blue team that can really duel the Renekton because Shen still does not have that Sunfire Cape, and Renekton at this point is just simply stronger than Shen.
Yep.
Now Renekton has the XP advantage over Shen.
And Vi coming to gank top lane, but he is going to be spotted by a ward in the river from the Shen.
So Shen is just going to back away to his turret.
So in bottom lane, Lucian is going to be much stronger than Caitlyn because of the champion choice. Lucian has many damage abilities available for him, while Caitlyn is more of a late game auto attack champion.
And so the first turret does go to purple team, but looks like Renekton is in a bit of trouble. If we get the kill on Mundo, no, he will not.
Extremely close, but Mundo does get away, and that's another kill going to blue team.
And this is the problem with not taking Ignite on that Renekton. Had he taken Ignite, that Mundo would have been dead.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen an effective use of his teleport either.
And Renekton may have even gotten away without that extra bit of damage, and Lucian getting chunked there. So Shen is going to just split push away at this turret.
The Vi coming in for bottom lane, but the back pings come out from blue team as they do see him with the tri-brush ward. And purple team is going to look to pressure the bottom turret.
And Shen still has not gotten that much damage onto that top lane turret.
Shen pushes extremely slow when he has not picked up that Sunfire Cape for the wave clear, and his damage to the towers just isn't there. Especially since Renekton has such powerful wave clear with that Ravenous Hydra.
On top of that, Call the Meek, which does give that little AoE and the extra bit of heal. Purple team waiting for that dragon.
Purple team knows it's coming up in 10 seconds and looking to pick up the second dragon of the game.
But blue team does respond and make their movements toward the dragon. Purple team rotates mid and looks like they're looking for this mid lane turret.
Gragas out of position here. He is not in any position to defend the mid lane, and purple team is going to get some damage on the turret.
And Killer Care Bear
The
5
Gragas
actually
ultimately hitting the Vi, and that's going to be a dead Gragas if Vi chooses to use the ultimate.
Killer Care Bear 5 with that last auto attack does pick up the Gragas.
A slight misplay coming out from Gragas, and purple team
Seeing
just
that
capitalizing on that and picking up the kill.
And Killer Care Bear 5 actually went for that Bloodthirster build instead of that Thin Edge Caitlyn, so he's just looking to shove turrets, not necessarily to fight.
It's also going to help him lifesteal and get out some more sustained damage and cut the tanks of Mundo and Shen on the enemy team. While purple team is able to get the second dragon of the game, Lucian meanwhile was able to pick up the bottom outer turret.
So Renekton's still just hammering away at Shen, still winning that CS advantage. Renekton will steal away this blue buff,
but Mundo is coming in,
so
and does have the smite available, so this could be just going to Mundo.
Topia actually uses his slice and dice, but the cleaver does miss, so he will get out just fine.
So if we take a look at the CS on either team, bottom lane is relatively even, mid lane relatively even, but Renekton continuing to increase that CS lead up to 70.
Renekton is about 2k gold up, and purple team in general is about 3k gold up, so that's something very big to pay attention, only at 19 minutes.
So now that Renekton has taken the top turret, he's going to be looking to roam to other lanes and force other objectives, and he's going to be an extremely powerful threat to blue team. While Shen right now doesn't really have the same impact that Renekton does.
Shen still does not have that Sunfire Cape.
Caitlyn actually picking up the last whisper, so he's just looking to shred through the tanks and not really looking for that auto attack damage.
And this is just fine because none of the tanks have picked up their Rinduin's Omen yet, so there is no fear of any attack speed reduction.
But the armor penetration not being as effective when there isn't as much armor being built on the blue team. So
So maybe that Zeo just would have, or maybe that Phantom
Yeah.
Dancer would have been more
the
useful.
last spur was a little bit preemptive.
So Gragas actually missing his ult right there. With his ult,
All
absolutely
of purple team seems to be gathered in the enemy jungle and might be looking to make a play.
And still, Shen just on his little island here, still has not went back to buy.
And Renekton continues to go man on man with the Shen, making sure he doesn't have the ultimate available to teleport into the team.
Now Renekton's looking for his own Sunfire Cape, and he will just be able to do anyone on blue team. Maybe even look for those 2v or 1v2s and just come out ahead.
But what I really think Renekton should be doing at this point is grouping with the team and forcing objectives, because he knows that he is much stronger than Shen at this point. And by playing man on man with Shen, he's effectively not providing his team with the advantage that he has right now.
Definitely a bit of a questionable decision by that Renekton, and it does buy blue team a lot of time in that mid lane, because all the other lanes went fairly even.
He could be pushing the advantage right now and looking to snowball the game.
Especially because there is a chance that Shen does get a stand united off, making the fight into a 5v4, but Renekton does have the teleport of his own. Renekton's still trying to get this outer turret, but Gragas is roaming up. Gragas missing the first
Blue team is
barrel.
slice and dice on Renekton, but blue team is just going to back off, giving purple team the opportunity to push down the mid lane.
And the ultimate going out onto Sona, knocking her down to health. Caitlyn will ignore Mundo and just go for this turret. Getting about 25%
Mundo getting
damage.
chunked right now.
The Vial does come out, but Mundo's
Very
ult
good Sona
dead.
ult hitting Orianna and the Vi, and purple team is going to be forced
Very
to back
good
off.
Lucian ultimate, and Paltina goes back in. There's communication there. Gets Paltina killed.
Renekton is coming in from behind though.
Renekton will make.
He gets
the-
exhausted, he needs to
close.
activate his ultimate.
but
And
the
here
ultimate
comes the
does
Stand United.
that. Big
And-
Tank does pick off the Lucian. Very good.
And Killer Care Bear is just gonna continue on pushing. But the TP does come in from Shen, and they are not able to
Shen
accomplish
still has not bought
anything.
any items. He just has 3k gold sitting in his pocket.
Not quite the most effective use of TP coming from Shen.
Especially with the fact that Renekton is still alive and Caitlyn is just around the corner. So purple team pulling the gold lead up to 4k now.
And the dragon is available in 1 minute, so purple team is definitely going to be looking for that.
And blue team is actually backing at a very bad time right now.
This could be a free turret for purple team, since blue team has backed out after that fight. And they could transition into the dragon now. Killer Care Bear on the Caitlyn, leading the CS in this game at 209. He has enough to buy the Zeal, so he's really going to be putting out sustained damage output, and he's going to be extremely safe because of the fact that blue team doesn't really have the tools to gap close onto a Caitlyn, aside from maybe a flash taunt from Shen and a flash zone ult. So mid lane, blue team is looking to push down the middle turret, but there is wave clear from Caitlyn and the Janna shields on the turret available for purple team with the Orianna wave clear. So that's going to be extremely hard to push. So now Renekton does have the TP advantage. So what he should be doing, since he knows that the Shen TP and the Shen ultimate is down, is he should be looking to shove the top lane. because any engage that happens with the team, he'll be able to TP in. And if he gets Shen to defend the top lane, he'll be able to TP out while Shen is stuck in the top lane. But if Shen is with the team, he'll be able to get the free turret top lane. So now purple team looking to pick up the dragon that has now just spawned. No pink ward. They do have the trinket though, so they're gonna clear out that ward. But they do back off. They know Renekton is not with them, and it would be a 5v4 if they did engage that. Blue team does reward the dragon, and Renekton should be looking to push top lane with the TP advantage that he has right now.
And Renekton is not really committing to any one source of action. He's just like, he looks like he's just looking at AFK farm.
Yeah,
This
I
top
really
lane
feel
has
like
been open.
he should be pushing right now.
He needs to either commit to helping his team or just split pushing instead of just free farming the whole game.
Yeah, so he has lost the window of opportunity. Shen's ultimate is back up, so he will not be able to force that 5v4 engage.
But Renekton does have his own teleport up, so he will be able to respond. Killer K 5 taking away this red buff from Lucian, which will hurt him substantially. So all AD carries are very reliant on those red buffs.
And Caitlyn is going to go into the dragon pit, and that's the third dragon of the game, going to purple team. Just
And
increasing
that dragon
gold
wasn't
lead.
even contested. So just very weak plays by blue team, not really forcing anything. They're just playing very passively right now.
So what blue team needs to do is they need to be with the ones trying to make plays and getting back into this game, because what they've been doing is playing extremely defensively, letting purple team force the objectives, take all three dragons, take the middle turret, take the middle inner turret, and take the bottom outer turret and the top outer turret, and they have done nothing in return.
But they are buying time. Shen and Mundo will just be unkillable late game. And Caitlyn, there will be a point when Caitlyn is just unable to kill Mundo or that Shen. But Renekton, because he has a Hydra, he won't be as tanky, and Lucian will be able to kill him a bit easier. So looks like
Yep.
blue team might be stalling for that late game.
Renekton does use his ultimate on accident, I believe, because they do not force an engage. If blue team recognizes this, they could be looking to push the middle turret because they know Renekton does not have his ultimate.
And Caitlyn is bottom lane farming, so very bad miscommunication by purple team there. And blue team is just waiting for that wave, but Caitlyn will be
Caitlyn
able
is
to
coming
return.
up.
Very dangerous. Caitlyn taking the safe long way around instead of that risky short way.
Orianna is going to be looking to wave clear this with her QW combo.
But Renekton does jump in, get a bit of damage.
And blue team
Purple team
just going
does
to back
have
off.
A very good wave clear. And they need to send Shen up to this top lane to take this turret.
Renekton will follow, however. Since he does have the teleport available, he's not afraid to stick on Shen.
And it looks like both top laners will collide here, and which one will get the first hit? Both of them just not noticing each other.
Shen
Effective response
misses the
so
shadow
far.
dash.
But Renekton is slowly pulling in that CS lead further and further.
Now up to 120. CS lead continues
Shen
to grow.
goes for that Warmogs, which Warmogs was good early on in Season 3, but now has just fallen off.
Yeah, he really needs to pick up more armor to deal with the Caitlyn, the Vi, and the Renekton.
He
And
needs to be
possibly some
building.
magic resist for the Orianna.
He needs to be building that Spirit Visage, that Randuin's, something other than just pure health right now.
Mid lane CS still relatively even, and AD carry CS still relatively even as well.
But Lucian does have those 3 kills up on Caitlyn, and he's working on that Triforce right now, which will give him a huge power spike. And so both teams just playing it out ARAM style, and Shen will go up and pick up all the CS that he desperately needs to be able to match Renekton.
Definitely. Both teams are playing very passively, neither really willing to risk making the play.
The purple team is slowly letting this lead slip away, because late game, Shen and Mundo are just going to roll right over purple team.
Yeah, they're going to be extremely tanky. What purple team is going to be looking for late game though is the Vi ult catches and the huge Orianna shockwaves.
And blue team looks like they will be making a push on that mid lane turret. Wifi just smites away the cannon minion for good measure. Caitlyn does
But blue
arrive.
team notices Renekton at the blue buff, and this could be the catch that we were talking about.
Renekton, will he use that Slice and Dice? His Slice and Dice is down, and Mundo does get the
The
blue
cleaver
buff,
picks it
but
up,
the Shadow
but the
Dash
Shadow
does
Dash.
not connect.
Blue team once again goes back, and the ultimate
Gragas
does
ult
miss.
does not connect onto the Kaylin, and Vi, will she engage? Yes, she does. She goes in, but and
The
there's
Vi
a
ult
whole
does
battery
still
coming
land
out.
on-
Gragas goes down with that Sona ult, but the Sona ult coming out, locking up purple team just well, but Mundo falls. Sona is about to fall, and Lucian is the only one that gets out. And Shen is still in that top lane, did not even use his Sienna Knighted or his teleport, so that will be a free Baron for purple team.
That was very well played by purple team, recognizing that Gragas was out of position, did use his ultimate, and capitalized on that, caught Gragas out, and just chased down the rest of blue team. Shen did not use his teleport or his Stand United, so really not maximizing the efficiency that Shen, the global presence that Shen really has. With this Baron buff, purple team is really going to be much stronger than blue team, and it's going to be looking to push down towers with that Baron buff. Purple team recognizes that Dragon is up in 30 seconds and is going to be looking to pick up the 4th Dragon of the game. All Dragons this game going to the purple team. 5 fruit 3GS Wi-Fi.
And now with that Baron buff, purple team has the lead to just start pushing their advantages and just duke it out with blue team face to face. A 10k gold lead, an 11k gold lead at 32 minutes. Very big lead for purple team right now.
Going to be increased by another Dragon, and if we notice, Caitlyn is starting to pull ahead of Lucian in CS, as is Orianna.
And Kaylin actually getting another BF sword looking for that Infinity Edge, but Lucian
Still yet to complete his Triforce. So although Lucian is a much stronger mid-game AD carry with a much earlier power spike than Caitlyn, the good play and defensive play from purple team has gotten Caitlyn past that point and is now extremely strong.
And right now, Mundo and Shen are not that tanky right now because all Shen has is that Chain Vest and that Sunfire Cape on top of the Warlock. Caitlyn can shred right through that. And Mundo only has that Spirit and Locket.
Yeah, and Shen has yet to pick up any magic resist, so Orianna is going to be very effective in
And it looks like
killing
blue team
Shen.
just wants to turn, so they're going to face tank this. Not committing.
With only 2 members of purple team here, they probably could have gotten that turret if they committed.
The blue team is playing very timid right now, but here comes Renekton from the side, but Sona does spin out with a ward. Does he go in? Good, he gets the
Gets in the middle of the team.
Lucian
and
forced
both
to pop
teams
the
just choose to
ultimate.
disengage.
And Renekton is still at half health, so no one can really kill him right now. Renekton does still have that ball on him, and he has that flash. They may
Caleb
be
has finished his IE. So he's going to be doing maximum damage. Almost damage capped, but he hasn't finished that piano dancer
yes.
yet.
as soon as she does, she will simply rip through the entire team.
Yeah, even at this point, he's going to be doing a lot of damage, critting for 900 on the minion.
And it looks like Shen finally does start to build some armor, going for that Thornmail. Very good choice against that Caitlyn, but he does need that Randuin's to be able to catch Caitlyn.
Yeah, definitely. If Shen does not go on Caitlyn, there's going to be nothing that's going to threaten Caitlyn, and he's going to be auto-attack however he wants during the team fight.
Looks like Renekton will be sent down to split push? No, he will just take the golems.
Renekton's teleport is not up, and purple team pings to go for the top turret.
Because there is that minion wave there, and blue team's bottom wave is still stuck in the purple team side. So rotation coming out from purple team
Hmm.
to go to that top lane turret.
But what Shen should be doing right now is split pushing something like the bottom lane, because he does have both the teleport and his ultimate available, so he could be in the fight
And
easily
purple
at
team
any
does not
time.
even contest this turret. And that's another turret for purple team. 13k gold lead at 35 minutes.
So this is again what we were talking about. Blue team just is too scared to make any plays. They need to be making the plays, being the aggressors, catching people out to get their way back in the game. They can't just allow purple team to force the free objectives like turrets like this. If they do that,
Especially,
they'll just slowly and slowly fall farther and farther behind and eventually lose the game.
and when that top lane turret went down, only Caitlyn and Renekton were there. They could have easily forced a fight. Because Caitlyn by herself is very weak. She needs that front line to sit behind and be safe. Looks like just passive farming again, but blue team's still not making any plan of action. They are just farming. That's all they're doing.
Gragas could be looking to make a play on Caitlyn, but does not choose to do so. Yeah, the passive farming for purple team really is eventually going to lose them the
Renekton
game.
is level 18 right now at 36 minutes.
300 CS to Shen's 160. CS lead still continues to grow.
So Shen really needs to step up his split pushing and just beat
Blue
that
team
monster.
really needs to engage on Caitlyn right now. He is completely alone. His team is split off, but they
They need to
still
take
choose to be
risks.
passive. If blue team continues to be passive, they'll just lose the next Baron as well, and just lose even more objectives.
Right now, blue team still has a fighting chance because Caitlyn does not have any defensive items yet, and if they pick Caitlyn off, there's just simply no more damage coming out of blue team or purple team on this side of the map.
Yeah, they should be looking to force an engage because Shen's ultimate is up, but Renekton's teleport is not up. So if they do choose to go in on the bottom lane with the Shen teleport, they could be forcing a 5v4.
And now it has reached a point where Renekton cannot kill Shen anymore. And blue team is just being poked down by that Caitlyn and that Orianna.
Huge damage coming in from Caitlyn with all those damage items.
And so Renekton is in that inner turret already, so the situation's are reversed. Normally you see Shen being this monster split pusher, but now the tables turned and now it's just Renekton being that monster split pusher. And right now, blue team needs to force an engage. Because Renekton is taking those wolves and they need to force that engage right now because they do have that Shen ultimate off.
Renekton's TP is coming up very soon, so blue team really needs to be forcing those engages right now.
And
But
blue team just lost that window of opportunity there.
yeah,
Because Renekton was taking the wolves, their turret was not threatened at all, and they could have easily
so
forced
here's
the
the
fight.
engage we were
Purple
talking
team
about.
makes the move,
But the
and the
Janna
Janna disengage
disengaged.
just comes out. The both teams just back off. Blue team not committing to it. The ultimate does come out, and Gragas will be forced to go back, and that
Extremely
is a
low, and now here's the
Die.
dive.
Also, battery
Gragas once
comes out,
again
and
gets
Gragas
caught.
will fall. The Sona ult does come out, but just Renekton's just shooting right now. Sona is just sitting in the back, just auto attack, hammering away at the window. The window will fall, but Shen will arrive for the 5. It does go down. Lucian falls. Renekton's just going after the window falls now. It's just Caitlyn is. They have no damage. Auto attack, she has full health. Wait. That's it. Shen does fall at the end. That's a piece.
So this is what I was talking about with the team composition of blue team. There is no one that can get to Caitlyn. Caitlyn was full health the entire fight, getting off all of the damage that he could, auto-attacking the entire fight. Nothing could stop the damage from Caitlyn. While a very good shockwave coming from Orianna and Gragas getting caught out in the beginning of the fight really sealed the deal for purple team.
And blue team was very indecisive. Went in, back down, went in again, but by that time, Renekton had arrived. It was a 5v4. That will be game 1 going to team 5 by last.
First game does go to 5 Fruits 3GS Wi-Fi.
So in the end, massive lead for purple team, very decisive win. Blue team had a very strong advantage early on, but they just didn't capitalize on it.
Blue team played much too passively in that game. If they wanted to get back in the game, they needed to be making those plays, trying to make the plays, get the picks, and claw their way back in the game. But what they did was just play too passively and eventually lost the game.
And early on, they had such a big lead. They were 4 kills up to 0. They were about 1k gold at 10 minutes, I think, at one point. And they were just so much stronger, especially with that failed Vi gank and that early kill on Oriana Gragas had. They just didn't capitalize on it. They didn't push early turrets, and Purple team just kept pushing right back and just winning those lanes through CS, just slowly pulling ahead further and further.
Oh, wait, I need to invite you.
Yes, you do. Thank you. Big D Chang picks the blue side this time. So Aetopia actually breaking up the team synchronization.
Utopia is actually on the Five Fruits team, but he's
Oh,
on the side
my bad.
of
Uno Momento says. One says Big D Chang.
So they do have a 20-minute break.
Killer Care Bear 5 wants to start at 229.
Invite Ruish. Paltina is the leader right now. All members of both teams in the lobby at this point, but they do have until 2:30 to have a small break in between the games. Unless they do choose to just start. So the game just does start, and we'll see what the bans are. Possibly a Caitlyn ban and a Renekton ban for Team I Make the Big Plays. Renekton just was able to easily dominate that Shen lane, and Caitlyn become a huge threat late game. Wukong ban again, probably a target ban against a player on purple team. Zed ban still target banning Big D Chang, but he did do quite well on that Oriana last game.
Still very similar bans coming out from both teams.
Yep. Renekton ban. There's
This
the
time
Renekton ban.
Renekton gets banned out.
It was just too much.
Dr. Mundo getting banned out, but Shyvana is still open, and Shyvana is still the same monster late game that Mundo is.
Yeah, the Mundo ban I'm not quite sure about because the Mundo wasn't really that much of a problem in the first game. And the standard Blitzcrank.
And the Renekton ban either. Renekton himself wasn't so much trouble. It was just the fact that Setsuna just
really
simply
shut down Shen.
Well, there were so many opportunities for Shen to split push back, but he just didn't take it. I feel like there were so many chances for Setsuna to really use his advantages against Renekton.
Yeah. With that global presence. Vi again.
Vi, very successful for blue team, so Vi will be picked once again.
Yeah, he really did well in the last game.
This time Oriana being picked away from Big D Chang by purple team.
Not only taking it away from Big D Chang, but also giving the Oriana to the purple team.
And Oriana's shockwave is very, very strong in team fights, just to lock everyone up, make them open to all that AoE damage. It looks like the Jarvan is going to come out now, so they're looking for that wombo combo.
Jarvan Oriana, a very good combo because of that Cataclysm. Locking
and
everyone
Big D Chang
up inside.
Takes the Syndra, which was banned out in the first game. No Swain being picked up here.
Swain, very interesting. I have not seen too much Swain.
Nope. Looks like the Gragas maybe picked up. Looks like he's thinking about that Swain. Swain is actually very strong late game because he's just so tanky late game. And no, Big D, just don't do the Teemo, please. But Swain, late game, he's just so strong because he's very tanky and because he just heals everything back up. And he does extremely... he does an extreme amount of damage and
yeah,
it's very scary to deal with.
He has a lot of sustained damage because of his ultimate constantly dealing damage with those birds.
But
Poppy
he is
probably a troll pick.
I will be very surprised because if you nope, the Swain will be locked in.
Go with the Swain. This is very interesting.
And especially with that Sonar ult to keep everyone in place, Swain will just be so effective in those big team fights.
Yeah, and none of us has really seen a lot of Swain, so this is going to be something that we're gonna have to look out for.
And Bryce Singer does get his Vayne through, and Vayne is very effective against Swain because of that percentage health shred. And Yasuo.
But what Vayne is going to have to watch out for is the Vial, because no matter what Vayne does, the Vial is going to connect, and that Vial could be followed up. Never mind the Karthus?
Karthus? Karthus? No, that's a troll, but they already locked in their mid laner. But if he does lock in that Vayne, he's going to be very careful if Care Bear 5 locks in a Caitlyn, because Caitlyn will just absolutely stomp on Vayne in that laning phase.
Yeah, Care Bear could also be looking to pick up Jinx or Lucian. Two extremely strong champions.
It looks like he will lock in that Vayne, and this is a very risky pick to lock in Vayne first.
He doesn't know what the enemy AD is at all, and it's going to be Urgot.
No, that's a troll pick. I'm pretty sure he's not playing Urgot.
Urgot does also do very well against Vayne.
But I feel like they have enough...
Yeah, they have enough to lock him down.
And the Nasus will be very effective against Vayne too because of that Wither.
Yeah, Vayne heavily relies on her auto attacks. Almost 100% of her damage is coming from those auto attacks. And if she does get withered, she's going to be either forced to cleanse or just have her damage reduced by so much in a team fight.
It looks like the Urgot does get locked in. I'm surprised not to see a Caitlyn.
A very interesting team composition coming in from blue team. Possibly very confident after winning that last game.
So everyone on blue team has at least one form of very strong crowd control, so they are looking for those fights again.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
Five Roots did very well in those big fights, but Purple Team, I'm a bit scared for their team composition here because it's actually the Zyra and the Yasuo could be very powerful here.
Yeah, the Zyra ult knocking everyone up. The Jarvan does have a knockup. I'm not sure if you can Yasuo ult onto Orianna.
You can't. You can. Any sort of. It's not knockout, but just any like little
Can you
airborne.
Yasuo ult on Alistar headbutt?
I'm not too sure. Blood runes. Apparently, you can also do it for Vayne E. Blood rune says.
Really?
I'm not too sure. I haven't seen too much Yasuo, and in fact, I'm very scared for this Yasuo pick because Yasuo is very weak early game, and so is Nasus. And this weak early game champion that can't punish this Nasus early is just going to let this Nasus free farm. He's going to become
Yeah,
just
Nasus
this
is gonna
giant monster.
become extremely big.
They needed to pick something that could shut down Nasus very early.
So we're gonna have to look at the ultimates from Zyra and Orianna
Yes.
coming in and trying to see if they can combo the Yasuo ult, Orianna ult, Zyra ult, and leaving room for Vayne to just auto attack.
And so Vi and Jarvan, once again, very aggressive gankers, so they just want to gank all game. And okay, I get the point, guys. You don't have to tell me what Yasuo ult works with. Just I keep getting informed. I'm fine. And the Urgot pick is just very interesting to me.
Yeah, but if you look at blue team, all the members on our team are very tanky. Aside from Sona, it's gonna be very hard for purple team to kill them just because of how tanky they are.
But if somehow Purple Team survives all that crowd control and Vayne is still very healthy, she could kill the entire blue team because they don't have any strong burst. Swain does not have burst, he does sustain damage. Urgot, he does not have as much damage as other AD carries late game. He sacrifices some of it for that tankiness he has.
But if we do see, there's just so many ways to catch out Vayne on blue team. They have the Nasus Wither, they could have the Urgot swap, the Vi ult, the Sona ult, and the Swain snare. So Brissinger is gonna have to play very carefully. He's gonna have to play on top of his game if he's gonna want to survive against the blue team lineup. But
Definitely,
if he
and
does
Vayne
survive, then he's going to be able to win the fights.
and Vayne is a very slippery champion once you do lose all that crowd control, and she will be able to clean up an entire team fight if played at a very high skill level.
And if we notice, purple team really is extremely squishy aside from Jarvan.
And even Jarvan, he does fall off late game. He does get out tanked by a lot of other champions.
Yeah, so purple team is gonna have a hard time without really that strong of a front line against the immense CC and tank from blue team.
But it looks like they will be looking for that mid-game power spike, I guess, because not all of these champions kick in until late game. Nasus is a purely late game based champion, and so is Swain to some extent.
Vayne is also very weak until she hits that late game status.
Oh, that's correct too. So a bit of a hodgepodge combination from purple team.
Yeah.
But they do have. But I like what they're doing here with that Jarvan knockup, that Zyra ult, giving opportunities for Yasuo to use that ultimate. But I just don't think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, and everyone is quite inexperienced with Yasuo. Like
Because
we
he's
said
been
yesterday,
released just 1 week ago.
yeah, no one knows how to play against him, but also players haven't really figured out how to play him either. It's going to be extremely hard for.
And either way, if the game does progress to that late game, that Nasus will just be unkillable, and so will the rest of the purple team. Or the blue team.
Yeah, unless Vayne can play extremely well and avoid all of the CC coming from blue team. There's just so much that could easily deal with Vayne in the hands of blue team.
And while I do like what they're trying to do with purple team, is I just don't like the fact that they did not pick champions that could stand up to this combination from blue team.
Yeah, blue team, the lineup just looks scary and scarier. It's just so much catch potential, so much CC, very tanky, lots of sustained damage. We'll have to
At
see.
this time, the top and Sutsuna did bring Ignite this time, but Nasus took Teleport, and Yasuo really can't stop Nasus from teleporting except for that tornado. So we
Yasuo
do have to
does have
watch
the
out for that
ignite though.
Nasus teleport.
The Yasuo could be looking to have some kill pressure on Nasus early game with the ignite. But
But
if he
again,
does not get the kills early, he's going to just fall behind once Nasus builds some armor.
and Yasuo again is a very early game or late game based champion, and so he won't be able to punish Nasus early as well as say Renekton or any other bruiser.
And also, if Nasus does decide to pick up some armor, he's not only itemizing against Yasuo, but also the Jarvan as well. So by picking up armor, he's gonna make ganks even harder, also making him harder to kill in lane.
And we've seen how difficult it is to kill Nasus as in the game, like with Sometimes I'm Happy and Homie Nights.
Yeah, so much pressure was put
Eddie
on
was just
Eddie on the Nasus, but he was able
he
to
was
still
killed
farm up.
early. That Lee Sin was 4-0, and he was still able to duel him just by farming.
Yeah, getting those stacks and becoming that late game threat.
Looks like we will be loaded up onto the Rift. So I'm wondering if we're going to see any level 1s coming out from either team well, neither team really has a very strong level 1 again.
Yeah. It looks like neither team looking to play aggressively. Last game, team I make the big plays, not actually making that many big plays. Playing extremely passively throughout the whole game, and just being slowly defeated by Team 5 Fruits.
They actually did make very good plays like that gank in the mid lane, where they actually picked up the kill on Big B Chang and just got away. But they just didn't capitalize on those plays.
Yeah, they didn't force the advantage that they had acquired from those early ganks.
And League of Legends is a game where you cannot win by just not losing. You have to win by taking risks and just playing very aggressively once you have the advantages.
Yeah, by playing aggressively, you can force your opponent into making decisions that they are uncomfortable with and that they are going to make mistakes in. If you play aggressively, you're forcing mistakes out of your opponent, rather than if you play passively, you're really just waiting for your opponents to make mistakes, which is probably not going to happen.
Definitely, and Palutena looks like he's starting at his blue buff once again, and so will Jarvan starting at that blue buff.
So this is also interesting. The Vi is gonna look to take the blue buff and then the red buff and then maybe gank bottom, rather than the more popular blue side start of red to blue to gank top lane.
And if Vi wants to gank bottom lane, she has to be very careful, especially when Zyra hits level 6. Zyra is the best anti-all-in champion there is because of those snares and that ultimate.
Yeah, Zyra's ultimate is a very strong disengage tool.
And especially with that Yasuo, it could be a very good form of counter-engage with that... what's it called? That... Last Beach...
Wind wall?
Last Breath.
Is that what it's called?
Last Breath. Wind wall is that stupid shield that blocks all the auto attacks. Asuna actually misses 2 CS there. Even though he did have that.
I'm very interested in seeing how this Urgot lane is going to work out. Already putting down a lot of damage onto the Zyra.
Urgot does have a lot of poke early game, and it is very difficult to deal with.
Especially once he gets his E ability, it's going to be very hard. And Urgot's passive actually reduces damage dealt by the champion that he hits by 15%. So that's really going to also help him duel the Vayne. Blue side hits level 2 first, and could be looking to punish the Vayne.
Good tumble by Vayne, dodging a lot of potential damage there. Just keep in mind that once Urgot lands his Q or E, you will just be able to use that target seeking ability and do much more damage.
Yeah, and after he applies his passive on Vayne, it's going to be that much harder for Vayne to trade back against him.
And Satsuna does hit level 3 first, but the problem is that he is shoving, which is giving Nasus the ability to just farm up.
Yeah, there's really not a lot that Yasuo can do once the creeps are under the turret of Nasus, because he just doesn't have anything except for his Q poke to do.
Whenever you're playing against Nasus, you do not want to shove into his turret. Yes, he will miss some CS, but he will still get CS, whereas if you just freeze a lane, you can harass him and just force him out of lane.
There's an engaged mid lane, but Jarvan is able to just combo out of there.
So both junglers making their moves, and Palutena actually heading up to that top lane, but there is a pause.
There is a pause.
Sorry, says Big D Chang. Ping issues.
With the top lane Nasus, unless Yasuo was able to punish him early, Nasus is able to just farm up, get those stacks, and he's going to be a threat late game.
Especially since Yasuo is actually losing in CS right now, which is not a good situation.
Yeah.
Looks like they will unpause. The game will resume.
The
And again,
lane, relatively
and
even.
Yasuo actually does not notice this right now. He is not backing away. He is not paying attention to the support. And Palutena does not go in. And he is standing on top of the ward now. Satsuna is aware and he is playing very safe right now. CS very even across all lanes.
Sona poking down the Vayne very heavily with that Q auto combo.
Definitely, and Vayne is already out of health potions and at 1/3 health, so she will have to be very careful in this lane. Jarvan is looking to make a play bottom, but he is very low as well, and so he will just do the smart thing and recall. And Sona actually started with all AP. She has 50 AP right now.
50 AP, no armor at all.
So very ballsy play there, but Sona, especially with the new patch, she does need that full AP to just be able to do that Sona poke that was so prevalent in Season 3. Looks like You Die by Bows actually wants to make moves on the mid lane. But Big D Chang just steps out of it.
Snares
And he
both.
locks both of them up, but here
And
comes
they're
Vi
just
right
gonna
now.
turn it around onto Vi.
No, but Dark
Onto
Souls
Orianna.
does flash out and he will be safe. That is a flash burned Orianna, and so
Very good counter
team
gank
just
by
making
Vi.
all the right moves. Big D Chang is big enough to deal with that. And so Atopia is just farming on the top lane. Now Suo is still losing in that CS. Well, he is even right now, but you do not want to go even with CS. You have to be dominating him early. So
Nasus is just gonna be able to farm up.
there's not much Satsuna can do because he just keeps shoving into the turret. That is not what you want to do against the Nasus.
He's not gonna be able to punish him at all, or look for those kills with his ignite if he continues to push against the turret.
Utopia is already almost level 6, and any harass that Tsuna does, Nasus does have a huge amount of lifesteal and spell vamp.
Just from his passive, he has the lifesteal available for him. Bottom lane, Urgot is actually winning the CS because of the poke that they have from the Sona Urgot combo.
It looks like Urgot is looking for that Manamune, and Manamune on Urgot is very scary.
It does
See,
apply on his Q.
Yes, and he is just stacking it up right now. 24 stacks already, not much, but better than nothing. In the mid lane, Big D Chang and Dark Soul itemizing very similar, like getting that chalice, which is going to help both mid laners with that extra mana regen and that
magic
MR.
resist.
So Dark Soul did hit level 6 before Big D Chang.
The CS is still relatively even. But once the Vi hits level 6, they could easily be looking to pick up ganks and kills on the Orianna with the Vial chained into a Swain Snare.
Definitely, and Swain actually got a pink ward to actually, but here comes a Jarvan right now, and the shockwave does go up. Big D Chang is very squishy right now, but he does flash out of it, so he will be just fine. So both mid lanes do not have flash anymore. And it looks like Big D Chang actually wanted a Vi gank before that Jarvan gank because he bought a pink ward to take out, to make sure that either one of the two mid lane brushes were not warded, so Vi would have a clean entrance.
Yeah, so what the Purple team jungle mid lane combination can also do is the Jarvan combo followed by the Orianna ult, which is just as potent as the Vi ult into Swain's Snare.
It looks like Jarvan wants to make something happen bottom lane, and they have no wards, and Jarvan was not spotted entering, and they are shoving this lane right now. Sona and Urgot are not level 6, and here comes a Jarvan
Sona
right now.
is in trouble here, and is probably going to go
That's
down.
first blood onto Vayne. There goes a Cataclysm. Urgot does flash out. He will be just fine. The flash burned.
I think
And
it
there
was
is
a
that
preemptive
Urgot.
flash from Urgot. Zyra's Snare was down, and there was no mana on Jarvan.
So definitely getting a bit antsy in that bottom lane. Very good move by Jarvan, returning a kill for the purple team. Going for that squishy. And Vayne taking a lot of
The
damage.
Snare actually lands onto
this
Urgot,
actually- oh,
and
but
the
Urgot does-
barrier forced out.
And they are just going to be able to shove this lane and bring back some CS, and Vayne is pulling closer to that CS. And while these moves are all good, that Nasus is just eating the Yasuo and CS. This is not a good situation.
The Urgot pick not really being that dominating lane presence that he might have thought it would be.
And Sonus, and actually, purple team and blue team making moves onto Dark Soul. Actually taking it.
So that was probably what I was talking about with the Vi ult and the Swain follow-up. Just easily able to pick up a kill on the mid lane.
Especially because Orianna has no dash to really just get away from Swain as soon as possible. Like say Ari, he is very easy to lock up.
And his flash actually wasn't available for that gank.
And so now Swain and Vi both have blue buffs, and this is not a good situation.
So this game, the Setsuna actually keeping up with CS this game, rather than the huge CS lead that Atopia was able to acquire last game.
But the problem is that Etopia, Nasus that's even in CS, is still winning the lane.
Yeah, for sure. But you could also say the same about Vayne, who, if he is even in CS, he's also doing very well because Vayne's laning phase isn't as strong as other champions, and he scales so
Definitely.
well into late game.
Especially with that gank, we saw the weakness Sona had by just going that full AP page.
Extremely squishy, only 800 health.
And got punished for that. She just blew up from that Jarvan combo, despite Jarvan's having no AD at all. And Jarvan's actually maxing his Dragon Strike, so he's just looking for those ganks. He just wants to do as much damage as possible.
So if we look at the CS in all the lanes, it's all relatively even.
Except for that top lane, Nasus is pulling further and further ahead of Yasuo, and that's yes. Looks like Vi wants to make move on that bottom lane. There is no ward in that Tribush for the purple team, but they do have a ward in that River Bush. And Vi does,
Jarvan looking to make a move on mid lane.
and Jarvan does get closer and closer. Will he be in range? No, Big D
He
Chang
does
is
not
just able to
commit.
walk away. But Vi is still waiting around the bench, just waiting for the lane to push up.
Although Jarvan did have his combo and ultimate available, while
Jarvan's
the
going to
Swain
walk
flash
into
was
the
down.
Jarvan is going to walk right into Vi. And
Vi
Fatima
just
does not react. Vi does finally catch him up, but Jarvan is the
very
best.
good
He's
swap by
walk
Urgot,
up.
getting him away from the wall.
Urgot and Vi, Jarvan does fall. But Vayne is in the bad situation right now because he's out of position. There's no one defending him. Zyra does not have her ultimate available, and Vayne will just be focused now.
Very well played by Urgot. He knew that Jarvan could have comboed over the wall or flashed over the wall, so he uses his swap, gets Jarvan suppressed and away from the wall, and they were just able to clean them up.
And purple team very and overstayed. Vayne just stayed way too long. As soon as Jarvan died, she could have backed off, but she stunned Vi and tried to get some damage on him.
That's just going to
That's a
transition
smart kill.
into a dragon for blue team.
So very good moves by blue team, and blue team 2k gold at 12 minutes. Very strong advantage right now.
And Jarvan actually saw Vi in the brush, but he continued to walk down.
I don't think he noticed her.
That could be a possibility.
He might have tunneled. And Jarvan actually getting a rejuvenation bead?
Not sure what he's going for here, but he is now looking for a gank in the mid lane.
And that Jarvan
Swain
is
has no ward.
one level behind Vi, but Vi has their Spirit of the Ancient Golem already. It's exceptionally behind. Big D Chang
Just
does
force the
flash
flash.
out. So very good move, avoiding all that damage. And Jarvan does get pinged out.
And they're going in on the
Oh,
Yasuo here.
that's
they're
what
gonna pick
will
up the kill.
fall. And the wind wall being completely useless there because both those champions are
Urgot could be in trouble here.
Urgot does get in
Good
trouble.
exhaust by Sona. Urgot should commit to
Lightning
the kill.
out. Much too greedy and rising. Will the oh, he will not.
Sona does have the red buff if he does choose to chase.
Sona does keep chasing that. Oh, very strong. Zyra falling lower and lower.
And Urgot makes it out alive.
Round by Sona. And Vayne getting very greedy, tumbling. Oh, big also.
Actually picking up the kill extremely close. With Swain.
Just has that. And had it not been for that ultimate, he actually would have won. And so you died by blow, sensing blood. He wants to go on him, but no, he's just gonna pick up some CS and that. Chang getting the once again, and the Swain is already looking scary.
Urgot
That's
is starting to pull ahead in CS in the bottom lane.
And Urgot did finish his mana immune, so that's going to give him quite a bit of damage, especially as he continues to stack it, because mana immune does give bonus attack damage based on your maximum mana.
So if we see top lane, Nasus has picked up the Frozen Gauntlet with
So Yasuo will be completely.
150 armor. Yasuo's gonna have a very hard time getting through that.
Yasuo is actually that's a giant spell, which I do not agree with. He's actually going for the static shiv, which is not what he needs right now.
I'm surprised we haven't seen more pressure from Vi in the bottom lane, just because it's so easy to set up a gank for an Urgot lane, especially with a Sona support, because Urgot can easily swap someone in and
so
just
use that
easily set up the gank for Vi.
Definitely, but Big D Chang also making a move again. Paltina diving that Dark Soul. And Yasuo also falls once again.
And Nasus is still full health, so
This is 7-1. And also, the beautiful crescendo coming out from Sona, locking up two, Rising heading back into the fray. Very bad
Urgot
idea.
does get exhausted.
They do get poked down further. Urgot just sustaining back up with that lifesteal on Sona's heal. Purple team will have to back off from this turret because Vi and Swain are heading down.
Vi's ultimate is not available yet, but blue team's gonna be looking to take the bottom turret.
So that will be a turret for the blue team. So very quick movements. 4K at 16 minutes.
And blue team just gonna be looking to push this advantage even further.
And this is what purple team needed to be doing last game. With those kill advantage, just pushing the advantage. And Satsuna going back into lane only to be beat up by the Nasus. And
Nasus could potentially just dive him.
Nasus has his ultimate. He can just dive him. But Nasus does back off, opting to take that red buff away from Jarvan. Satsuna has to be very careful upon entering the jungle. And Big D Chen could get caught out here. Jarvan does miss his
The
combo.
Orianna ult does
Orianna
not land.
Tank right now. Orianna does not have her ignite.
He's actually just gonna turn it around.
Flash to the wall. Big D Chen does miss his. Orianna does have flash if he just returns and flashes.
Misses the combo by Jarvan, and Jarvan just simply doesn't have the damage to deal with him. But Vayne is coming in.
And the pause does go out because Paltina did disconnect.
This should be a death for the Swain right here, because he does not have his flash available, and Vayne is probably going to get the condemn on.
And Big D Chang was very greedy, especially trying to stick around and bait the Orianna. But Orianna playing smart, staying back and letting Jarvan tank the damage and deal damage of his own, waiting for Vayne to come up.
Yeah, and Big D Chang just very greedy and is going to be punished for it. His team is not coming to help him, and he does not have his flash available either. So this should be a death for Big D Chang.
So definitely as the unpause comes out very shortly. Utopia has unpaused the game. The game will resume, and Big D Chang, can he get out? Is he big enough?
And Purple Team just
Team
all
actually-
decides to back
Oh.
away.
Big D Chang, too big apparently. Scared of the Big D.
That's very surprising, especially
Very
since
surprised. That was a very early game, especially Spain. 2 kills and 100 CS.
Vayne did have the condemn there, and Setsuna is
Yeah,
gonna
man,
fall down.
At the flash tumble to condemn into the wall. So very questionable. And I think Urgot and Sona did show bottom, and Vi was more inside. Yasuo falls again.
Utopia picks up another kill onto the Yasuo.
So Yasuo 0-3, Nas up. So this is already a bad situation, and Jarvan completely neglected the top lane.
Although Nasus does have that weak early game laning, he was able to get through that, pick up the gauntlet, and now there's just really nothing Yasuo can do against the Nasus.
And that's another dragon. Second dragon of the game. Already 5k gold ahead. Make that 6k at 18 minutes.
So Blue Team has been playing this game extremely well with those ganks, forcing those objectives, and this is just going to be another catch on the
And Big D Chang.
all the ultimates, Sona ult, Vi ult, and Urgot ult, even a flash, coming in to pick up
Big D
that
Chang,
kill.
he's too big. He's not big enough to survive this. The Orianna does come out. But
He's
Levi
extremely
was back
tanky.
up. Big D Chang is too tanky right now. He's just healing everything back up. Big D Chang does pick up the kill. Dark Soul.
And I guess that's the power of Swain. And Nasus actually does kill Jarvan and might even get a second kill here.
Oh, will he get baited? And he does get out. Just
survive.
there with 30 health to spare. And Jarvan, that gank was much too late. That gank needed to happen 15 minutes ago. But the problem was that Suna was just shoved into the turret. There was nothing Jarvan could do.
Very well played by Utopia, especially since he does have the Iceborne Gauntlet, 150 armor, and it just really helps him tank both the Jarvan and the Yasuo since they are both reliant on physical damage.
And very good play in that mid lane action. Big D Chang knowing the capabilities of Swain, knowing how much he could tank. Flashing in, getting condemned, and baiting the purple team into overextending, picking up a kill.
Yeah, since Swain is such